Good morning, everyone. I'm the District Attorney of Fayette County, Richard Bauer, and to my left I have Captain Jeremy Barney, who is Troop B Commander, and Lieutenant Mike Irwin, who is the Lieutenant over the crime detectives of the State Police and Troop B. To my right is Chief Delbert DeWitt from Uniontown Police, and to his right and my right is Lieutenant Jeff Schaefer, who is the station commander for Uniontown Barracks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on February the 28th, 2023, my office, in conjunction with Pennsylvania State Police, obtained a search warrant from the Court of Common Pleas, Judge Joseph George. That search warrant was to obtain to search the residence at 37 Pershing Court in the city of Uniontown. As a result of obtaining that search warrant on March the 1st, 2023, the Pennsylvania State Police Troop B Vice and Narcotics Unit, the CERT West Team, also known as the Special Emergency Response Team, Troop B Patrol Units of Uniontown, special agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation in Pittsburgh, and troopers from the Mon Valley Safe Streets Task Force executed the search warrant on the residence located at 37 Pershing Court, Uniontown, Pennsylvania. At that time, there were two individuals inside of that residence by the name of Christopher Waymond Kitchen, date of birth being May 14, 1985, and Raymond Williams, date of birth 10/19/1991. Both individuals were taken into custody without incident. Christopher Waymond Kitchen also had an NCIC warrant from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Corrections for a probation violation. At that time, the Pennsylvania State Police, along with all the other agencies, conducted a search of that residence. And in that residence, evidence was seized and found pursuant to that search warrant. That evidence included a loaded, stolen Hi-Point .380 handgun with a serial number that had been scratched. Additionally, approximately 24 grams of heroin laced with fentanyl, approximately 12 grams of crack cocaine, 253 blue round pills marked M30 oxycodone, 35 buprenorphine and naloxone strips, 8 milligrams -2, 15 white pills marked M522, 7.5/325 in an unlabeled pill bottle, .380 caliber ammunition, multiple items consistent with the sales of drugs, including 3 cell phones, manufacturing and distribution of narcotics to include digital scales, baggies, mixer, and measuring cups. Located in Williams' pocket when he was searched was $3,120 in U.S. currency. In addition, in Kitchen's pant pocket was found marijuana. Kitchen, Williams, and all the evidence was transported back to the Pennsylvania State Police Barracks here at Uniontown. At that time, Kitchen was read his rights and warnings and waivers, and at that time, at approximately 7:20 in the morning, he signed the document waiving his right to talk, or waiving his right to remain silent. At that time, then, Kitchen admitted to using and selling heroin for financial gain. Kitchen also stated that he knew the firearm was on the kitchen table and had touched the firearm to move it within the last 4 hours of the interview. Kitchen also stated that he knew he was a convicted felon and was not allowed to be around firearms or ammunition. And he also admitted that he knew he was wanted for a parole violation by the Department of Corrections parole. Furthermore, Williams was read his rights and warnings at the same time at 7:45 a.m., and he also waived his rights. He was unable to explain why he was in Uniontown, stating he arrived at the house on March 1st, 2023 at midnight. Williams stated that his girlfriend sent him down there via a lift because they were fighting. The girlfriend then was contacted by the Pennsylvania State Police and was provided, Williams had provided her name and phone number. At that time, when she was interviewed over the phone, she said that that was not true, how he got to Uniontown, and that she had not seen him since Saturday. Williams then indicated in regard to the money that was found that he did it from odd jobs, cutting hair, but would not put it in a bank account because his account was negative. Williams confirmed he was a convicted felon and cannot be around firearms. At that time, the interview was terminated. Additionally, Williams is convicted in Detroit, Michigan in 2012 for assault with the intent to cause great bodily harm. Williams also has other felony convictions. Kitchen was convicted on September the 16th, 2014 in the 76th District of Michigan for possession with the intent to deliver, which is a felony. That also is part of the issue in regard to a firearm not to be possessed by a convicted felon. Kitchen also has other felony convictions. So that it's very clear what this is about is that these investigations are furthermore ongoing, and it is an overall campaign by the Mon Valley Safe Streets Task Force, the state police, the Uniontown Police, and the FBI to protect our community and to protect the citizens of Fayette County. As a result of the search and seizure of those weapons and drugs, both individuals were charged with possession of a firearm permitted for not to be permitted by a felon. That's a felony of the second degree. Additionally, they were charged with altering and obliterating the mark of an identification serial number, which is also a felony of the second degree. Moreover, they were charged with receiving stolen property in regard to the gun, the .380, and that is also a felony of the second degree. They're also charged with possession with the intent to deliver drugs, which is also a felony in regard to all the drugs that we've mentioned here with the cocaine, the heroin and fentanyl, the pills, etc. Additionally, they've been charged with intentional possession of having the drugs and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Pardon me. Additionally, in regard to one of the individuals who had the marijuana, he is charged with a small amount of personal use and having marijuana on his possession. And then there's also a flight to avoid apprehension and punishment, which has also been charged. And that is a felony of the third degree. We all are standing up here because we've all been involved in several matters in the last several months. Actually, this has been an ongoing task force and work by all the individuals named, the FBI, State Police, Uniontown Police, my office, so as to protect this community. Fayette County has been a place where there have always been drugs, just like every other county. But we are taking it very seriously. These gentlemen standing with me have worked very diligently so that we can start doing things that may never have been done in this county before. And I can't go into those details. But there are things that we are doing that you'll be hearing about in the next 3 or 4 months, because we are taking it more serious than ever. We're going to bust, or attempt to bust, at least part of what goes on in this county. It's very necessary. The people involved have done a heck of a job, and I have to give them a lot of accolades. And my office has been cooperating and working with them for over 14 months about certain matters in this county. So ladies and gentlemen, that's what this press conference is all about, so that the people in Fayette County know we're not taking any of this lightly. Any questions?
Rich, how important is it to get this type of drug and the amount of drugs off the street?
Well, it's extremely important. Let's be very blunt. Fentanyl, for example, just one little piece of fentanyl can kill a person. We've had troopers that have been exposed to it and they have to go to the hospital immediately. This is not something that's just lightly can, be used. No, fentanyl is killing so many people in this country. And we're going to try and do as much as we can to get it off the streets.
Are we seeing more drug cases popping up than before in Fayette County?
Well, let me just say this. I think that we are doing far more than has ever been done, and we're taking people off the street. Additionally, there was one thing I should tell you. In Fayette County, especially in the Uniontown area and outlying areas and throughout Fayette County, gun violence is down 41% in the last 2 years. That has been a concerted effort by the Pennsylvania State Police, the Uniontown Police, the Connellsville Police, all the police departments in my office to reduce that. And that's one of the reasons that the Mon Valley Safe Streets Task Force has been involved with the FBI. The FBI is in here more than you can imagine. And we are all working together to make sure that we can start doing a lot more than we've ever done.
Rich, both these guys, their prior records show up in Michigan. Is this like a pipeline? Are drugs coming from there to here? What's anything significance to that?
There's a lot of significance coming from Detroit. That very bluntly is an exact statement what you just said. It's coming down from Detroit. We all know what happens up in Detroit. Not the greatest place to be residing in with all the problems that they have. Well, we're not going to put up with it. And we haven't been putting up with it. This has been ongoing for several months.
Rich, do you have an estimate of the street value of the drugs overall that you recovered, or do you break down by the various drugs?
I don't think I could say that. I think that maybe Lieutenant Irwin may be able to, or one of the other officers up here, like the Chief of Police, Lieutenant Schaefer, or Captain Barner. They may have an idea of what it's worth, but it's in the thousands of dollars.
Can you say with these, based on the quantity of these drugs and anything you can say based on your task force ongoing work, would these individuals be regarded as mid-level or high-level or street-level drug dealers?
Mid-level.
And because of their mission to groups, just to clarify, how long have they been living at this address or in Western Pennsylvania? Or were they visiting as part of ongoing activity?
We don't know exactly how long they've been here. You believe the one guy, he said he just came in. But then his girlfriend said, that's not true. We have had other places where we have rooted out Detroit people, and they've gone to jail.
Rich, can you talk about the importance of the partnership with like the Uniontown Police Department, the Mon Valley, just how important that is to have that relationship with all these other entities dealing with situations like this?
Well, I can tell you that this is the first time in my career, and when I started as the district attorney 7 years ago, I met with the FBI. The FBI told me point blank in that meeting that the FBI had not set foot in the district attorney's office in 25 years. Well, I can tell you, since I've been DA, the FBI has been in my office more than you could ever imagine. And the importance of the cooperation with the FBI, the ATF, DEA, State Police, Uniontown Police, Connellsville Police, it's amazing. These guys have, and when I say guys, it's men and women who have put their lives on the line to root this out. We've had meetings with the U.S. Attorney's Office in regard to this kind of thing. The cooperation is at such a high level that Fayette County should know that all of us standing up here and all of those individuals that are doing this have nothing but a desire to root out as much as we can. And I've got to give an awful lot of accolades to all the federal agencies that are involved with the state police and the Uniontown Police, Connersville Police, all the police departments. This is not something that just happened overnight. This has been going on for years, and it's intensified in the last year and a half. So it's extremely important. Our resources have multiplied.
Just to clarify, I know you had said one of the men had been convicted in Michigan, but you're saying they're both from Michigan?
Yes, both of them are, and both of them have been convicted in Michigan.
So when we describe them, is it more accurate to describe them as Michigan men or Uniontown men?
It's Michigan.
This address, is that somewhere that they or someone else were leasing? Does someone own that property, either of these men?
We can't discuss that right now.
You can't say.
We cannot tell you that because of the ongoing investigation.
You say if either of these men were tenants at that address?
They were not.
Okay. So Michigan men who were arrested at that address at which they did not reside, that would be accurate.
Yes.
Could more charges be expected in this specific case?
I don't think at the present time.
Rich, were these people commuting, traveling back and forth from Detroit in this area?
That is their MO, yes.
Rich, for a long time, there's been like a situation with transient kind of people in housing authority facilities. Some have been torn down in recent years. Is that a conduit for these transient people that bring drugs into the county from other places, where they're staying with someone instead of being, are those pinpointed places by you guys?
I'm not going to discuss what are pinpointed places by this task force or any police force due to the fact that if we start saying yes, these are what we're doing, or no, we're not doing, I don't want to put in jeopardy anybody involved in the investigation.
I'm not familiar with Pershing Court.
It's
It's
a project,
a public housing.
yes. It's a public housing project.
Why here? They're coming from Michigan. I mean, are they going Pittsburgh as well? Are they going all around past Fayette County? Or are they solely coming and doing this kind of business?
Well, I think we'd be very, very naive to think that they're only targeting Fayette County. I would say that that Allegheny County is probably one of the greatest places they're probably going. Now, other counties, I don't think that we can say that, oh, it's just Fayette County. No, it's all around us. For several years, I said, this is not just a Fayette County problem, it's a nationwide problem. And it is.
Is the proximity to any specific intersections of different interstates and so forth significant? In other words,
You mean like
I know over the years, there's been discussion about how these things move along certain major roads.
That's a fair assessment.
Could you say, just sort of describe the
Well, it's very easy for them to use Interstate 70, Interstate 79, the Turnpike, any of the interstates. I mean, that can be used very bluntly. As long as you stay doing certain things, they're going to be coming down those ways.
Do you still see a large Detroit presence here right now?
I'm not going to mention that or discuss that because of ongoing investigations.
Have you seen any movement in the last 48 hours?
I'm not going to mention that in regard to anything because of an ongoing investigation.
What would your message be to anyone else coming into or through this area doing similar things?
Good luck. We'll get you. Any other questions?
Do you know where charges were filed and had they been arraigned?
Yes, they were arraigned yesterday evening, and it's at Magistrate Jason Cox. If you want a copy of the complaints, I can give them to you.